I was, you know how you just be scrolling and all of a sudden some video comes up. So there was a video of a lady and she was like, yeah, I need a man. And the guys was like, oh my gosh, you're so good of a woman to say that you need a man, because most women nowadays, most women say they don't need a man. And she said, I don't know why women say that. That is crazy. I need a man. I mean, why wouldn't I want a man? Why wouldn't I want a man? This is what she was saying. Why wouldn't I want a man to take care of me? And why wouldn't I want a man to do this and do that? And this is what I'm going to say on a level that I understand. The reason why most women nowadays are saying that they don't need a man is because majority of those women were hurt by a man. And when you say you don't need a man, like, what are you saying? You need your husband, you don't need your fiance. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, let's go in depths by it. Like, let's get straight to the point of what you're really trying to say. And a lot of women that I know that are good women, I'm talking about good women, a lot of them, majority of them, if not all, were hurt by a man. It's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, and majority of them went through the fire for the man, and the man kept dogging it and kept doing, kept belittling, kept just doing crazy stuff. And a lot of us face to the ground thinking that we could not do without the man. And I'm going to say this personally. When my husband at the time, when he divorced me and he left and abandoned and didn't even turn back, I was crushed to the core. I couldn't breathe. I was having anxiety attacks. I was losing so much weight. I was so hurt, in a fetal position, hurt, that the only one that could have give me the strength that I needed, because that man was like my kryptonite. The only one that gave me the strength that I needed was God. When I thought my life, my world, my everything was falling apart because the man that I needed so much in my life, that I needed, of course, yeah, it takes two, me and him, to have children, but I needed him so much in my life that we became one flesh. So if you up and leave me, the Bible says I can't marry another. I can't be with anyone else because I'm committing adultery and I can go to hell for that. I need this man. And God showed me, no, you don't. So that's why, and it took me months. It took me, wait a minute, hold on. It took me seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years. And here I am going on my 8th year, celibate, no man, not because the man that I married is still alive. And by law, as long as he is alive, I'm bound to him until he is dead. But do I need him? I thought I needed him. I thought that my life would never be the same. I thought I'm doomed. I'm just doomed for destruction now that he's put me away. I am. I was wrong. And just like my hurt, my mother went through it. When she had 4, my father abandoned her, but God made a way. And she remained unmarried, never got married. Even when my father passed away, she's never got married. She still lives her life. Um, I saw a friend of mine, she was in love with this guy. This guy tried to murder her. He literally tried to stab her up. And she had to look at it on camera when she testified in court. And she realized I'm good. I'm okay without a man. Sister, she used to be, I mean, she's still happy, but she used to have a glow about her. And then she got mixed up with the wrong man, and it was just so much bickering and stuff. She don't even want to date anymore. Okay? And these are just the little things. Now, I'm not sitting up here saying that a good man is a hard thing to find out. I heard about them jokers. I know they real. You can tell it. You can see some good men out there, and lucky is the woman who gets that. But a lot of the women who say I don't need no man is because they came across the wrong man that they loved so much. Okay? They loved so much that they were willing to give up their singleness to become one flesh. And that man that they put all the trust into hurt them to the core. And although they have forgiven, they just realize like life is not just about a last name, and life is just not about this man. I am defined. God, when he made me perfectly by myself in my mother's womb. Now, in a part of my life walk, I did become one flesh with the man that he created, but I was my own individual person before I married this man. And a lot of women have been hurt. They have been hurt, and that's why you hear them say, I don't need no man. When I hear them say, I don't need no man, meaning I can stand on my own 2 feet. I thought I wasn't going to be able to go nowhere, do anything, experience it. I thought I wasn't going to be happy when my husband put me away. I thought I'm doomed. I'm just done. Like, what's going to happen? Like, I just thought like nothing good is ever going to come my way because I was betrayed by the one person that I gave myself to, and he put me away, and that's it. And in my situation, just like there's millions of women out there who are divorcees and put away, the put away crew, we had to, first of all, it's a mental thing that you got to come out of. You got to come out of that depression thinking like the worst betrayal is when your husband does it or your wife does it. That's a betrayal. Like you like, but me, you really gonna carry me out of everybody? I'm your biggest fan. You really gonna carry me out of everybody? And then it's so embarrassing when they do it right in front of your face. And rejection, you thinking like I'll never be loved again. I'll never be able to get back again. And then when God loves you, when God shows you, see, let me tell you something. God draws near to the brokenhearted. And when he loves you, when he start treating you, when he start taking you, when he start showing you, when he start enlarging you, when he start preparing the table before your enemies, when he start doing stuff, you'll be like, well, daggone it. I thought I was going to need a man for all these things, God. And God just laughing like, no, who told you that? And I'm like, well, if I would have known this, Father, if I would have known this when I was like in my early 20s, I'd probably be a complete different person. But everybody has their way to learn things. Like I thought growing up, because when you look at Cinderella and you think about the whole picket fence and your knight in shining armor, you want to be the choose me chick. You want him to choose you. You want to cook the best meals. You want to have the best outfits on. You want to be the go-to one because he gonna know that this is the one. But when you are betrayed by the man that you love the most, the one that you put on the pedestal, the one that you was just like, it's me. It's me. You know, and he's just look at you like, I don't like you, never did. And you have to pick up, you know, your face from the ground and the rest of your pieces, and you have to learn how am I going to get it together, you know. And it don't matter. It don't matter if you white, black, blue, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever you whatever it is. It don't matter. We all been through it. Women, we've all been, not all of us, because some of y'all came across some good men. And y'all men love y'all. And they taking good care of y'all. Y'all don't, some of these women, let me tell you something. I just got finished doing my lawn, in the front, in the back, on the side, and all the way in the way back. And one thing I do notice in the neighborhood is that it's men mowing the lawns. They got some good husbands around here. Them wives don't do nothing. Then, you know, I'm gonna get to the level when I, you know, got the lawn people mowing my stuff. But hey, and you know, those are good men. You know, ain't nothing wrong with that. But a lot of women, when you hear, I don't need no man, that's because at one point in time, a man was all they needed. Men, we had got to the point where we made our man a god, that we put him before God, that we just, there's nothing that he could ever do wrong, and it don't matter because I still got his back. Some of y'all did years of bids while he was behind bars, and as soon as he came out, he switched like a 10-speed on you, didn't he? He did. I mean, some of y'all done went through the most, and you keep trying to get this person to notice you or to even acknowledge you, and they look at you like whatever. When I said, you know what? Because let me tell you something. God created man. He created us. And there's some that he loved, and there's some that some that he put in heaven, and some he put in hell. God is a jealous God. And God created man in the image of him, and out of man he created woman. Okay? So we are like our Father. It's gonna come a point in the time you better get to know me while you can, because soon when I'm not looking at you, it's just like Jesus said, depart from me because I don't know you. It don't even matter, even the person you marry, they're going to be like, I don't know you. I don't know you. And so at the end of the day, I don't need a man. I don't. You know, I married my husband. I'm still one flesh with him. But do I need him? I thought I did. I thought I needed him. I thought like, and this was years ago. Y'all know I've been over that. But I thought like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? You know, I remember going to court and I was like, okay, just breathe. Father, I mean, I prayed for God to turn my husband's heart around. I remember fasting. And when I fast, I don't just, you know, oh, I'm just going to eat fruits in here and call it this fast. No, strictly water. And I was nursing at that time. My daughter was taking all the essence from me, and I'm fasting for my husband to remember me. Just please, just can you just say my name? Something. And it was like as if he erased me from his memory, that I was just so despised in his eyes. And I just kept on like, but and it got to the point where I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna, I got bitter. At first I felt sorry, and I got bitter, and I got frustrated. And then it got to the point where I just forgave it. And I'm like, out of sight, out of mind, you move on. And then you realize I'm still moving. I'm still growing. I'm still getting older. I'm still experiencing new things. And I'm doing all of these things without this man, without the one that I thought was my life. And when you get to that point and you realize I can still laugh and joke and have a good time, And it's not because he was there. That's what's wrong with people. People get in relationships and they're defined how this other person makes them feel. When the person make you smile, you got a good day. But when the person's upset, you got a horrible day. It's like a yo-yo. But now I don't have those strings on me. So I don't need a man. I don't need a man. And just like a man don't need a woman. However, there's nothing wrong when you have a man or your husband, and there's nothing wrong if you have your wife. But life still goes on without them. The world still turns. And I've been seeing a lot of these videos where these guys who are pointing their noses up at women. But I'm like, you looking for a traditional woman like back then, but you're not that traditional man. You don't pay bills. You don't open the car door. You don't be like, okay, baby, what you need. It's like, well, what you bringing to the table. You want her to cook, clean. You want her to go to work and do all these things while you doing what? And what I'm seeing in this day and age, like I said, I'm seeing a lot of dudes in heels. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even funny. It's like they don't know what they want to do. I've met men who say they like men and they like women. They want to sleep with men and women, and they don't see nothing wrong with it. You know, like that's risky and sinful. And it's just, this is a day and time, and you wonder why a lot of this stuff is going on. It's because from day one, it started from the fornication and the adultery in the household. The husband and wife ain't there. And then you got this one pointing the finger at this one. But then when you go back down his line, when he's sitting up here talking about this woman, this is how these type of women act. Let's look at you. Where's your wife at? Well, I got married 20 years ago and me and her divorced. Is she still alive? Yeah. Well, why ain't y'all back together? Why didn't y'all reconcile? Why aren't you still working on that? Why are you on your 8th woman now? Or your 8th marriage, committing adultery? And you got 15 kids. And that's another thing, too. I've been hearing about these dudes out here talk about this woman with a whole bunch of different babies, right? But then what about all of the dudes with different baby mamas? If I go out here and meet the average 35, the 40-year-old, the 45, 30, 20 something years old, and ask them, do you have children? They will say yes, they do. Oh, you married? No. So where the kids at? It's funny how you blame her for popping out babies, but you forget that a man created those. So a lot of the men nowadays, you're not even taking care of your own household. You're not even taking care of your own children. And then you get upset. I don't know what's going on with, women have gotten to the point now where back in the day, it's true. Men were the resources. They were the ones who had the jobs. Women, they stay home and they took care of families. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but I'm the type of woman that's gonna bring in some money. Like me and my husband, we was gonna do a business or something. But I wanted that. I wanted to do that, but he had other plans. He didn't want to be married and he didn't want a family anymore. And I'm like, you can't do this to me. I'm like, I walked down the aisle with you. I chose you out of everybody. You chose me. We got this baby. You cannot do this to me. And he was like, deuces. Dad, handle my light work. Judge, lawyers, I'm out. And he went smoking his cigarette somewhere. And I was just like, eek, ook, rabbit, ook. I was just like, and all my friends would say, you did it the right way. Out of everybody, you waited until you got married to have children. And how could this have happened to you? And I was like, eek. And I was just thinking like, This gotta be a joke. He's gonna come back. I know he's gonna come back for me. I know he is. Maybe if I lose some weight, maybe if I do this, maybe he'll fall in love. Maybe he'll remember. Maybe. Oh, I just need this man. What am I gonna do without this man? I had, God had to show me, Mona, you ain't missing nothing. I got you. And I went crying to God, and God showed me, you don't need him. I'm going to deal with him. You don't need him. That's what God showed me. And then out of all of my years before my husband, when I was dating and I was doing this and I was doing that, and I even had a conversation earlier with one of my friends because we was talking about celibacy and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's been so long, like I don't even think about that type stuff. Like it's just like especially like if you cut out meat for years, you don't even want meat. You know what I mean? If you're not if you're celibate, you don't even think about that part of my life is gone. Like I'm doing other things and more focused to doing other things. And my life is more peaceful too. I can't explain it, but it is. It's more peaceful. The other day I was making crab cakes. And I was like, oh, this is so good to have a long day or, out there grinding. And I'm sitting here making myself some crab cakes. And I was like, this, I kind of like this single thing. But then I was like, no, it would have been nice to kind of make some crab cakes for my man. But then I thought like he don't eat crabs anyway. He knew how to make crab cakes, but he didn't really like seafood and stuff. But I did like cooking and cleaning, and I loved going shopping for my husband and finding his favorite scents. To me, it was a satisfying thing to do things for my husband because he's my husband. So when he would go out looking fly or he come home, it'll be like, babe, they gave me a huge compliment on my outfit and was like, you always dress nice. He was like, thanks. My wife put this together. And I would feel like really nice about that. Or like when I would cook a meal and he would be like, oh, babe, this is a treat. I'd be like, this is a treat. Like let me ante up my next game or the next meal I'm going to cook for him. It made me want to do. So it's not like I was one of them wives that was just like, I ain't doing nothing for you. But I realized it didn't matter how much I did for him, for that man that I married. It didn't matter if I rolled out the red carpet or said, baby, look, you could stay home, I'll work and do this. He was never satisfied. It's nothing like being with somebody that ain't never satisfied, that's always unhappy. Nothing is never good. You tiptoeing around hoping that he will love you and he won't leave you because you don't want to be a part of the other statistic divorce crew and everybody looking at you. Well, what did you do? Maybe you didn't pray hard enough. Maybe y'all wasn't sleeping. Maybe this was going on. I ain't did a daggone thing. He just reneged on for better or for worse, and he didn't want to be married anymore. So one thing about the man that I married is that I didn't realize it until later on is that he went to school for sociology, okay? He got his degree and everything, and I didn't even understand what all that was, but he can change his perspective by changing who he is and distancing himself and revamping with new people and new friends. And I remember years ago when we were together, he was talking about like programming, like how you get from one bed and you do things over and over again and how you have to switch things up. I remember him talking about that. Now that I'm into you have what you say. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. We become what we think about. You know what I mean? Like, I had to change my mind on him that it was good while it lasts, but it is what it is. And the truth is that I don't need a man. I would have loved to have had my husband, but I don't need him. I don't need him. He could fly to the moon, to the deep parts of the ocean. God knows where he's at. He's not my concern because he doesn't want. And the only concern is, I don't mean to say it like that. Like, I pray for him. Don't get it twisted. But it's not like how it used to be. I thought at the beginning, if I could look at myself crying, I'd be like, girl, do you need more tissues, Mona? You know, I'd probably be laughing. I can see my old self. Why are you laughing? This is horrible. Oh, what am I going to do? He's going to love somebody else. Girl, let him. I mean, it ain't your problem. God going to deal with him. God is going to deal with them. But what am I going to do? Can I date someone else? For what? Why would you want to go through another headache? Be free. Be free with God and just live, love, and be happy and forgive. That's where I'm at. I do not need a man. You don't. And unfortunately, a lot of men have hurt some really good women out here that women have put their guards up. They have put their guards up, baby. I remember years ago, my husband would be like, you need to put your guard down, you know? And I was like, for real? Put your guard down. So he gave me a TKO, okay? And I'm not saying physically, but it knocked the chick to a whole nother dimension. I ain't think it could happen to me. Messed my ego all the way up. Like, the only person that could pick me up from that was God. And that's why I love God so much. I love him so much because he'll never leave me nor forsake me. And that scripture I hold on to because it is the worst feeling in the world when your husband tells you, I don't love you and I don't want you. It's the worst feeling in the world when I'm not even going to give you an apology for what I did to you. And I literally had to forgive it. Forget it, I apologize for you. Mona, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because at the end of the day, I knew you were by far the best woman that I could have ever had because no woman would have ever stayed as faithful as you are right now by keeping God's commandments and not marrying somebody else. Please forgive me. I will apologize for him. He don't know no better. But anyway, at the end of the day, no, I don't need a man. And I understand why women say, I don't need no man. Because we thought that if it was always an embarrassment if you got put away, if you got it, your husband dumped you. You don't do dumping when you marry, but your husband gave you the boot. And it was embarrassment. It was embarrassing. And then when I speak to my god sister, it was funny because all my friends were, and I'm like, these women are good women. They cooking and stuff. My one friend, she in Florida, like, girl, let me go here. She just went grocery shopping, got her little wine. She about to have her dinner by herself. Then I called my god sister on the phone. Girl, I'm over here cooking this steak for these kids. I said, you ain't cooking no steak over there for no man. Girl, bye. The only thing he gonna get is hot dogs and beans. But she said, that's still a good meal. And her and her husband is separated too. We on the phone laugh. I said, girl, I'm over here cooking these crab cakes. Call my other friend. She over there making salmon. And I'm like, these dudes out here crazy. Y'all got some really good women out here, really hardworking. I'm talking about good women, but you did that. You did that. Even when I go to look over in Africa, and they had this tribe where it was just all women that lived there, and the men were upset and was like, no man is there. They need man to protect. And they asked the lady, would she ever get married again? She said, the way she was like, oh no. Her husband used to beat the brakes out of her. And because of that, she like, I can do without a man. Some men will hurt women to the point that women are afraid of being hurt again, and they don't even want to go down that lane. Some women, realize in my 20s, in my 30s, I spent all this time on you. In my 40s, I'm not doing that, baby. And they're teaching their daughters too to focus on God and what not to deal with, so you don't have to put up with what I dealt with. See, my mom, she had 4 children, and she, dealt with a lot and struggled and tried to raise, but I think too she felt like a lot of things wasn't open for her because of around those times. But nowadays, women are jumping back even with the kid on their hip, and they're just doing what they need to do. And they realize, like, I got more peace than I had with you. I could sleep better than what I was when I was sleeping with you. I can do more things. I'm doing more things, and I'm doing them without you. So why would I even care? No, that means I really don't need you. You know, there's 2 things. Either it's an asset or a liability. And if you're not an asset, you're a huge liability. If you're not going to help the family grow and we, do this together, if you just all about heartaches and drama, some people are so hurt, they just like, I want, no, I want to stay away from that. I'm good. I'm good. They don't even want to go around it. And in my family, I'm not seeing a lot of marriages, and I'm seeing a lot of single women and men. I'm seeing men get older, and they got issues, and they ain't got no wife to look after them because mama told him not to marry her, and now you old and dealing with issues, and you ain't got no woman to look after you. You didn't understand why God put you together so you can take care of one another, and your children can be there. You did that. And then they wondering why women these days like, I don't need no man. Because she had a man, and that's because that man done did something. And it's vice versa too. Some men out there got really hurt by their wives, and they just like, nah, I'm good. Then you think about a relationship, you think about that time or this or that, or when I was on the floor throwing up, going into convulsions, when I went running back to the father, nah, I'm good. Some women are scarred. Some women are scarred. In my situation, I'm forbidden. I can't get married any daggone way because the man I married is still alive. It is what it is. But listening to this lady saying, I would want a man. I want a man. Yeah, I wanted that too. She wanted that too. She did. All of us did. We wanted to show up like, yeah, that's my boo right there. You know, yeah. We want to be like, girl, you okay? You sure you need anything? You'll be fine, okay? You can be fine. Some women have been scarred, and that's the truth. That's the reason why most women say they don't need a man, because at one point in time, they thought they was not going to be able to live without a man. And then they realized, shoot, I'm still breathing. I don't need no man. I told you about that pickle jar. I was like, maybe I'll just go out and ask some random man, could you open this jar? And I said, hold on. Father, can you open this? Next thing you know, and I said, ooh, well, I didn't need a man. So, and this is not to bash any men, but this is to know why most women are saying, and they're really speaking truth, that they really don't need a man. Because some of them, when I listen to my God sister talk about, I would cook, and he'd be like, you ain't sauteed it enough. You didn't do this. You didn't do, nothing was ever good enough. I don't want to get on a plane because I'm too afraid. And so it stunt her from going places. And she said she had to watch her mother not go and do things because her father would hold her mother back. And her mother would always tell her, don't let anyone hold you back. Again, I thought that I wasn't going to be able to experience certain things because my husband was no longer there in my life. I thought like, well, how I'm not going to be able to do this, and what about that? And God said, I didn't say you wasn't. I'm not going to stop blessing you because he's not doing what he's supposed to. You're going to get a double portion of what both of y'all had. As long as you keep my commandments and follow me, Mona. You going to still eat good. You still going to have a roof over your head. You still going to have money coming in. I'm going to take care of you. Don't worry about how that's going to get chopped up. I'll send someone over there to chop it up and log and haul it away. You just look to me. And I'm like, all right, Father. And I'm trying to tell you, ever since then, out of my my late teens, early 20s, 30s, God has been like everything for me. And I know some women may not understand it because you always got this dude in your face. If that's not your husband, all he's doing is giving you a one-way ticket to hell for fornication. But some of us have found peace, and we ain't ever gonna give up that peace. I be listening to people drama, and I be like, ooh, mm, 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 mm. But that's the reason why most women be like, I don't need no man. When I hear a woman say, I don't need no man, she right. She don't. She doesn't need one. Meaning she had one and she thought she needed him. She took her some years to realize, man, this dude ain't good for me. So I'm sitting up here going and doing all of this crazy stuff to show him I need him. And I've written, man, he's been a headache and a mess and a thorn. Oh gosh, a pebble in my shoe, a freaking weight on me. Like, no, some women have got to the point and they're just like, man, I ain't going back out there. some women being like this with the binoculars. What's going on over there, girl? Did you hear? What's going on? I got a god sister. She young in Chicago. She was in love with her baby father. He started acting nuts and crazy. By the time she got rid of him and he left the home, she got peace. It's just her and her children, and she is content. She is content. He still be acting nuts, still be accusing her, and she be like, "Oh Lord," but she work, and she ain't bothering nobody. She pick her babies up, and but she went through it too. So I don't know what these dudes are sipping on and drinking on, and you want a good woman, but you out here dogging them all out. That now the word done got around. No, sis. Just focus on God. The right one to come, and you'll know him by the fruits, man. You'll know the tree by the fruit that it bear. It ain't gonna bring no drama. And if the man do walk out your life, just remember one thing: God will never walk out of your life. He won't. He won't. So that's the reason why most women say, I don't need no man. I don't need him. All these women out here, especially all you suaves out here, you dudes sweep it down, you could get all these women out there, then you should be lining up for the ones that want you. Because the ones that be like, I don't need no man, that's because they went through some things. They went through some things with the man. They like, you know what? You want them. In my situation, you want them. I hate to tell you, but anybody who touched that go to hell. But hey, they ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm doing what I got to do on my side. So anyway, that's all I got to say for today. So anyway, y'all have a great day. This is not putting down any good husbands out there. Any of my good brothers out there, I'm talking about y'all that love y'all wives like Jesus loved the church. I salute all of y'all. Y'all need to teach these dudes how to do that. Y'all need to literally minister to them how to love women, because a lot of women don't trust men these days. They just don't. They don't trust them with their body, their household, their finances, the children. They, to be a good provider, because they have shown they're not. They have shown that they can walk away from everything and won't even look back, but God sees all. And vengeance is mine, says the Lord. I don't have to do anything. The one thing that God told me to do was to forgive. I need to forgive, and I need to pray for him too. Because when God goes after somebody and he punishes them the way God wants to do it, his ways are not like our ways. We may say, man, I forgive him, I ain't tripping. And God may say, I don't forgive him, he going to hell. You know what I'm saying? So that's the worst place to be, is in hell. So you forgive and you move on. But at the end of the day, what I've been shown is all I need is the Lord. As long as I got God, as long as I have Jesus, I can do all things through Christ that gives me strength. He who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtains favor from God. But a lot of these men out here took on a wife and they hurt their wives. And now their wives who have not been with them don't trust nobody. She can't be with nobody anyway, because he alive. And then you have some men out here who hurt somebody that they were with for a long period of time and they never married them. They took their youth, they took them for granted, they took their bodies, did some messed up things to these women out here. And these men wonder why these women are just like, I don't need no man. Because remember, at one point in time, you used to be lined up for men who wanted to love and have a wife. Now you just like, shoo. Anyway, y'all have a great